The world is never going to be the same again.
I'm worried about the world.
The mass chaos and crises that there was in the world, it's going to be just like that now.
This is not an accident.
How long is it going to last? Longer than even for those of you that have some cash in the bank, way past your cash reserves.
Out of 100 people, 4 will get the message.
This thing isn't going to be over in a few weeks. This thing isn't going to be over in a few months.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, this bull run is getting picante. Very spicy today. The entire market looks like it's ready to run. The reason is because market leaders like Bitcoin and Ethereum are powering through. Bitcoin up 16% on the week, up to $55,000. Powerful resistance has been broken, and we have another leg up to go. Ethereum is up to $3,600. A powerful resistance point has been broken on Ether. We have another leg up to go. Ladies and gentlemen, unlike our Bitcoin maxi friends, I'm not tribalistic. I don't care if Bitcoin goes up or down. I actually want it to succeed. The reason is because it controls the market. The whole market rises when Bitcoin rises. And this is incredible for the entire space. More attention is being brought in. But at the end of the day, one thing still stands. Our precious XRP is still one of the most undervalued assets on the planet due to this SEC case and this SEC lawsuit. We recently had John Deaton be on Fox Business for an interview representing the entire XRP community. And John Deaton, quite literally, my friend, you are a legend. 20 to 30,000 XRP community members are being represented, but ignored by the SEC. The SEC is supposed to protect investors, but they are ignoring the retail investors. They actually cause damage to the retail investors. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we're getting the traction we need. We're being talked about on the news, on Fox. We've been talked about on CNN in the past. But one thing's for certain. The SEC lawsuit, it threw a wrench in XRP's plans, because one thing happened yesterday that can't be forgotten. Jeremy Allaire, CEO of Circle, announced that Moneygram is going to launch cash in and cash out links to a USDC coin via a partnership with Stellar and Circle. Stellar has essentially replaced XRP with their Moneygram partnership. This is very important to note. I'm not upset about this, because at the end of the day, Stellar's success, in my opinion, is XRP's success, because all tides are rising at the same time. Stellar and XRP can coexist and be successful. Stellar was meant for retail payments, retail settlements. XRP was meant for wholesale sophisticated institutions. At the 9th high-level meeting of the International Monetary System, the BIS head Augustin Carstens was there. IMF head Christine Lagarde was there. And they suggested that Ripple work with a trusted money transmitter. And I believe Moneygram was a test run for Ripple. It proved that it can be successful in reducing fees. We see that right here with the Moneygram Q3 report in 2020. Ever since Moneygram's partnership with Ripple, its business exploded. In 2019, Ripple agreed to invest $50 million in Moneygram. And what happened immediately after was that Moneygram, a failed business, exploded in value. Look at its stock. It rose, and that's not an accident. In this Q3 report, we see that MoneyGram's business was growing. But right here, this is the part we look at where Ripple made an impact, an $8.9 million net benefit from Ripple market development fees of $9.3 million, partially offset by related transaction and trading expenses of $0.4 million or $400,000. This showed that they reduced fees. This showed that they were earning more because of these reduced fees. Ladies and gentlemen, let me make myself clear. Stellar is taking this partnership, and it's okay. Just because Stellar took that does not mean XRP has been replaced. It means that its correct use case, Stellar's correct use case, is being implemented. On Circle's website, USDC remittances, moving the flywheel of the global economy. I remember in Swell 2020, they brought up the flywheel. That's not an accident. This language in the crypto space is universal. The flywheel is moving when it comes to the global economy, and Stellar and XRP are at the forefront of this financial revolution. Don't get it twisted, guys. They're both growing together. Do you think it's a coincidence that Jed McCaleb has not sold any XRP since August 31st? Does he know a major pump is coming? Or is something else going on here? Posted by Alex Cobb. That's a great question and a great observation. He had been dumping XRP for years, but now he's holding. He had plenty of XRP, so now this may be his moon bag, for lack of a better term, for lack of a better phrase. I think Jed knows what's about to happen next. Now, guys, we have to understand that the Federal Reserve will adopt the ISO20022 message format for the FedWire Fund Service to allow for enhanced efficiency of both domestic and cross-border payments. ISO20022 has XRP and Stellar as a part of it. That can't be forgotten. And just for some of you that may be asking questions, this is the flywheel set in motion from that Ripple blockchain report in 2019. We don't talk out of left field here, guys. Everything that I say, it always has some form of grounding, whether it's from memory or immediate documents like this. Don't forget where we're at. The most recent update to this flywheel document showed that we were at part 5. Go live. Part 6 is next, boosting with digital assets. And trust me when I tell you that part is coming after this SEC lawsuit, and regulatory clarity for XRP is here. We're so close to it, I can taste it. Now, guys, as I get deeper into updating you about the political aspect of what's going on in this space, we have this update. QNB, the largest financial institution in the Middle East and Africa, unveiled its global strategy for cross-border payments with the launch of a remittance service developed in partnership with Ripple. This happened as well as a couple weeks ago. This is advancing the financial inclusion and sustainability with Ripple CBDC solution. Why is all of this happening right now? Do you think central bank digital currencies are not coming? They're arriving, and this is the moment in history they're going to be adopted. We see that managing director of the IMF, Kristalina Georgieva, has stated 110 countries are at some stage of central bank digital currency development. This is up from the 80 countries just a few months ago, and a tidal wave of countries are going to continue pouring in. The only thing limiting this new system is some technological innovation and regulation. Regulation is coming though. And guys, this is the part where we get into the corruption that's going on. Guys, I have a brief clip of Jay Clayton discussing regulation and the importance of anti-money laundering and KYC when it comes to crypto and the efficiency of the payment system. Please take a listen and let's see how this develops.
Could you talk a little bit about some of the entrepreneurs out there, what they may want to do, or some of the things they may want to take into account when they're trying to be innovative but recognizing the role the government will play inevitably?
Look, it's a great question. Let's go back to facilitating better payments, more efficient payments. It is wonderful to have a technology that takes frictions out of that system and drives value. That is, of course, a necessary condition to be a disruptor, come in, replace the incumbent system, provide value for everybody. Great, but it's not a sufficient condition. Whatever you're replacing is there and complies with existing regulation. And in the case of payments, let's just talk about AML, anti-money laundering, KYC, know your customer. Those types of issues, unless you do it better, at least as well or better than the incumbent, you're going to have a really hard regulatory hurdle to come over. There's not a trade-off. Okay, lots more efficiency, we'll take a little less KYC, AML protection. That's not a viable way forward in most regulatory regimes. You have to do the KYC, AML at least as well to be able to capture the efficiencies. I think that's the way most regulatory systems around the globe work and should work. You should not be giving up hard-fought protections just to achieve efficiencies.
Now, Mr. Clayton, I definitely understand your point. You don't want to sacrifice any type of compliance, any type of KYC, any type of money laundering when it comes to bringing new efficiencies into the payment system. I understand it's ideal to bring more efficient payments as well, based on your words. Isn't that right, my friend? So why is it that on your last day at the SEC, you sue a compliant, AML and KYC compliant built into the ledger crypto when it's making the payment system faster? Maybe it's because of your conflicts of interest with the people you're working at now. And it just so happens to be the case, ladies and gentlemen, that Jay Clayton actually responded to this in a CNBC interview. And let's look at his face while he answers that question directly.
Ask you one thing, because it's something that your critics seem to believe, which is that in your final days at the head of the SEC brought a case against Ripple. Now you're advising some other companies in this space, and they point out or suggest that this is a conflict.
I did not know these companies while I was in the government. I was introduced to them after I exited, did my due diligence as to whether I would be an advisor, and chose to do so.
Now, what we just saw was a man lying through his teeth. You could all tell, you could all see in Jay Clayton's face that he's a manipulator and he's looking to deceive all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we know quite clearly that money talks louder than words. And what Jay Clayton said was a whisper relative to the money he's making at Bitcoin and Ether-centric companies. Now I'm going to say this again. The SEC does not protect investors. Jay Clayton destroyed 60 to 70% of the XRP holders' value in one day. A lot of people got liquidated from some positions due to this lawsuit. And now Gary Gensler is over here doing the same thing, following a different regime with the same lawsuit. This is insane to me. He's taking an anti-crypto approach, coming after exchanges, coming after DeFi, saying we have clarity when Hester Pierce has said we don't. Please listen to Gary Gensler bumble over his words and give the typical SEC runaround. And then let's analyze this very quickly.
But is it your view now that that Bitcoin and Ether are not securities?
No, I'm not going to get into any one token, but I think the securities laws are quite clear. If you're raising money from somebody else, and that's something the investing public believes that they anticipate or have a reasonable anticipation of profits based on the efforts of others, that fits within the securities law. And so,
okay, and that's why today, along those same lines, Chairman Gensler, along those same lines, that's why I introduced the Clarity for Digital Tokens Act with Representative Davidson and Budd, based on Commissioner Peirce's digital token safe harbor proposal. I asked about this before. Have you had a chance to review her proposal?
Commissioner Peirce and I talk actively about these matters, but I have not yet reviewed. I think you just introduced your bill this morning, and I look forward to looking closely at that.
But the bill is based off of her proposal, and I was asking if you've reviewed her proposal.
Commissioner Peirce and I have had a number of conversations about her thoughts on these.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason Gary Gensler is giving the runaround is because he's looking to crack down on everything. Remember, Wall Street Bets, GameStop, AMC. He's coming after cryptos. He's coming after hedge funds. 49 regulatory proposals. Gary Gensler took away a lot of power at his time at the CFTC. I've talked about that on my channel. Now, look at the jurisdictional overreach he's looking to execute here at the SEC, especially when it pertains to crypto. Why is it that we can't execute a crypto safe harbor, period? Maybe it has something to do with Elizabeth Warren and her opinions on crypto and that Sunday night meeting Gary Gensler had with Elizabeth Warren. Who knows? That's just speculation. But they seem to have a very interesting relationship, and I've shown plenty of interviews to prove that. Now, guys, we can speculate as much as we want, but one thing is certain. The Ripple test will replace the Howey test when it comes to crypto and crypto securities. That's going to be without a shadow of a doubt. But in the meantime, we have to focus on what the market is telling us. Stellar is currently, in my opinion, going to be the next major crypto to run. It is extremely undervalued in the open market at this moment in time. Currently 24th on CoinMarketCap at 33 cents, below its previous all-time high. I believe Stellar can rise in value before XRP gets out of this mess. Part of that has to do with this Moneygram partnership. Part of that has to do with that World Economic Forum document naming their winners for this bull run. The World Economic Forum named Solana, Cardano, Algorand, CeeLo as winners that they love. Each of those cryptos have exploded in value. The only cryptos that have not done that yet are Stellar and XRP. I think Stellar is going to be next, and then XRP will move last, but it will move the highest and the fastest when it's all said and done. Now, to cap off this video today, guys, I'm going to play you a clip from the Moneygram CEO Alex Holmes, briefly describing the difference between Ripple and Stellar's partnership with Moneygram. Learn the difference, as it's what I've been saying to all of you for years now. This is the Bearable Bull here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Why did you feel Stellar is a better fit than Ripple?
The Ripple product was very, very different, right? We were doing a lot of back end, at foreign exchange trading cross border. I think, as we've said, many times, the process and the technology works, and we had a great experience with Ripple. They tend to focus on a lot of the back end pieces. They're obviously focused quite a bit on cross border funds flow through RippleNet. with the changes and the challenge that the SEC put forward, it was very difficult for us to continue in that relationship based on the way that was structured, and so we both agreed to move on. The partnership here with Stellar is very, very different. It's much more focused on the front end consumer and the ability to interoperate between fiat and the stable coin. So a very partnership. Stellar approached us with the idea. We thought it was a great one. Again, MoneyGram wants to be very proactive and very progressive in innovation and pushing forward across blockchain. And thinking about how we can bridge between the two different worlds. So we're excited about it, and I think it's a great partnership.
I get 24 hours a day, just like Beyonce and Jay-Z. You get 24 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do with your 24 hours? You need to get more information. In our coaching program, all we do is drop content nonstop. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. See, you don't even know what you don't know. How did you let me come from behind and clip you? Do you guys know the studies show the better we look, the more money we make? Which means your website should pass the eyeball test. Your truck should pass the eyeball test. Your people should pass the eyeball test. You should pass the eyeball test. Everybody in this room has a promised land somewhere, but you can't be stuck on the city you like. You got to hear God and go to your promised land. Your promised land might be Utah. Your promised land might be Minnesota. Your promised land might be Wyoming. Hear me clearly. You better use your money to get information and access, and you better be flexible because a real shark is flexible. Can we stop fronting and get real about this thing? And if I can do it, you can do it. I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about business, but I had the right mindset, and I learned it through sports. And y'all got to hear my story so you understand. I didn't even start on my college basketball team. I came off the bench. At the University of Minnesota, I came off the bench. But in my mind, you can bring me off the bench, but I'm an NBA ball player when you get through talking. When you get through, I'm an NBA ball player. And that's why I would walk around and say, you can't check me. You can't check me. You can't check me. If I was you, I would walk around every day and say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I declare it right now. I'm worth millions. I'm worth millions. I will receive my salary right now, but I won't accept it as my value. So whatever you receive right now, receive it, but don't you accept it as your value. Because there's more out here for you if you change your mindset.